What is up, YouTube? How's everybody out there doing today? So we are continuing Project Red Rocket, Road to 1,000 freaking horsepower. And as you guys see in the last video, I got done putting the engine together. And Mitch, what time are you in here this morning, Mitch?
4:15.
4:15 in the morning. Mitch came in here and installed the transmission, installed the engine. Unfortunately, I have no video of that for you guys, so this is basically just an update video. I got in here this morning about 8:30 and got the headers on. As you can see, the Huron Speed, this is actually the Huron Speed V3 kit, and you guys can see it. It's a nice kit. We didn't put the turbo on yet. We will put the turbo on in this video, but the clearance of the headers that they give you is extremely good. You can actually still run your ABS block and your power steering. You do have to relocate your alternator, but I think honestly you could probably, I mean, mine was already relocated for the old turbo system, which is under there now, but I honestly do think that you could probably run the alternator on an F-body down below with their kit successfully without having to mess with anything. And I'm in Mitch's way because he's like running around like a nutball. So we literally just got done taking off the old intercooler here, so we have that all off. We have the new Huron Speed intercooler right here, and we're currently attaching the brackets. Now originally when we did the old setup, I'll show you what I got here. We used the front support, chopped it all up, drilled a whole bunch of holes, and that's how we mounted. That thing's just destroyed. That's how we ended up mounting the old intercooler setup for the old turbo system. So their setup is a little bit different, which is actually a lot nicer. They have two brackets, a top and a bottom, and then you just attach them to where the front support used to be. The one thing we discovered was, if you look at these upside down T pieces, these are the original brackets that were actually inside of here, that then nutted. That sounded weird. That then also, you know, had the nuts on the backside. So this is like an anchor piece. We ended up using these over again to anchor this bracketry onto the car itself. So I guess we're gonna put the intercooler in now, right?
Set it in.
We're gonna set that intercooler in. So we're gonna see what this intercooler looks like with it placed inside the vehicle on the Huron Speed bracket setup, and it looks like an intercooler on a bracket setup. It doesn't really.
Wow!
Wow, guys, look at that! That's so cool. So we got some spare bolts we're gonna use. We're gonna go ahead and put that sucker in, but that's pretty much what it looks like. It does. It did actually bring the intercooler out, I would say, another inch further than what I had my intercooler before. And the other thing we're going to do is, I have my transmission cooler right here. We're actually going to attach the transmission cooler flat underneath the car because I don't want to put it in front of this intercooler like I did before as well. So we're going to be changing a few things up just to make sure it works a little bit better. It looks a little bit neater. All right, guys, the moment everybody's been waiting for. We got, like I said before, got the intercooler on. We did mount the transmission cooler. We actually mounted it back here. We just tie wrapped it up for right now. No big deal. It's very stationary, ain't gonna move. But we need to get this turbo in place on this Huron Speed V3 system. We ended up putting the radiator in. We had to do some modifications to get the radiator to go forward a little bit more than what it was on the previous build. We ended up putting one fan in the middle and then put the other fan. I actually had two fans before back on the backside. So we took one fan and put it on the outside, one on the inside, or outside and inside, vice versa. We're actually gonna wire this fan up in reverse so it pulls air instead of, oh my god.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh my god.
I brought in the big head.
Obviously, Mitch is in a hurry to get this this turbo on. But what we have here, guys, is 80mm S400 ETR with a billet wheel turbo. It has a 132 hot side divided T6 housing, and it is one bad bitch. I'm not gonna lie, guys. And especially with this 370 engine from Golen engines, we have this beautiful turbo system from Huron Speed, and I think it's gonna match up really well. What do you think?
I think it's gonna be a.
Well, you ready to get this? You ready to get this bad boy on, dude?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. this thing. It's gymongous.
Oh yeah.
Zlang! Guys, oh my god. Look at this freaking thing. It's almost touching the power steering pump.
Bazanga.
This thing is huge. Look at that. That is my turbo. That is my turbo. It's freaking crazy. Crazy. 80 millimeter. My god, this thing is huge. We're definitely going to have to do some adjustments here, but man, look at that, guys. That's where my turbo is going to sit. It's going to make tons of horsey powers right there. All right, guys, we are back. As you can see, I have a different shirt on. I have my Lunati Voodoo shirt on. That's because it's a different day. The prior footage that you've seen was recorded on a previous day, and now we're at another day. So we got the beautiful CBR 1000 sitting back here, ready to eat any McLarens that are willing to come out and play. But it's okay. She's still fast. We got the front bumper back on. We have obviously the intercooler. All the piping is done. We have Mitch over here making, and I'll show you what he's making here in a minute. But we got our downpipe on. Got the nice hole cut. So now I have an exhaust hole, and I'm gonna make this a custom intake hole. It says blow me, because that's where the old exhaust came out for the old turbo kit. But we're just going to be putting a turbo guard on this guy here and be done with it. But I think it's kind of funny. Maybe put an air filter in there, just kind of fool the cops. Who knows? You know, that'd be pretty cool. We've measured push rods on the heads. They are going to be here today, and I'll show some video of us putting the push rods in, the rockers, the valve covers, which I'll show you the valve covers here. We actually painted those black as well. Look at them pretty things. So the valve covers are painted. They're going to look real nice. And I do have a, I actually do have a set of coil packs that I'm thinking about using on these, but I don't know. I actually have the old coil packs, but I have these really cool coil packs and coil pack brackets that I've had for years, and I've never used them. And I don't know if you guys can see them, but they're kind of buried under here. Look at that nice stainless steel. I've had these for years, and they just kind of sit around, don't do nothing. So I'm thinking about putting those coil pack brackets on instead of the stock ones, which I'll show you what the stock ones look like. They're old metal, you know, nothing special, just old F-body coil pack brackets. That's the F-body coil pack brackets right there. So leave a comment below. Let me know which ones do you think would look better on the transgender AM, the stainless steel looking aluminumized ones, or I guess they're aluminum brackets, or the stock brackets. You're probably going to say the aluminum ones. So, but, you know, comment below, let me know. But, guys, I'll tell you what, this thing is almost done. We have very little left to do. We have to put the wastegates on, which is sitting over here. So, we got to get them on. We got to do a whole bunch of tubing. Got the blow-off valves mounted. Got my dual methanol system setup done. It was on the old setup. It was a single nozzle from Alki Control down in Florida. Really awesome guys. Go check them guys out. They have all your Alki Control needs for your performance cars, and they make some fast cars with Alki Control down there. And you guys know what they're doing. I talked to them and I was like, hey, I want to go to a dual setup now. So they sent me a new line, the T, and everything that I needed to go dual. So now it's going to be a dual meth setup at this point. Everything's clearing up in the front here. My bottle's mounted. This thing's probably going to run today. Mitch, is this thing going to run? Mitch, is this thing going to run today? If, oh God, this thing is going to freaking sound redunculous. Redunculous. We ended up using the stock crank pulley back over. I couldn't find the aftermarket pulley that I had. So we ended up using the stock one, no big deal. This thing's going to make a boatload of power anyways. We custom fabbed up this neat little water neck tube. So we had, you know, the correct setup here. Normally, this turbo setup would work better if the top hose came out of this side, which you can buy radiators that have the top hose over here and the bottom hose over here. But unfortunately, I already had this radiator. It's not a cheap radiator. I figured I'm not gonna buy a new radiator. I'm just gonna make this one work, and that's what we did. So we did a 90-degree up. We're gonna put some heat wrap under here. We've got a full, I'm don't know if you guys can see that. We got a full steam tube setup on this front and rear. I am going to recommend something to you guys, and this is something that maybe a lot of people don't talk about. Is on these old LS1s, the later models had a steam tube that ran only in the front. So they only had a steam tube that ran from here to here. The older models, 98s, 99s, 2000s, had full steam tubes, which went all the way to the back, 2 cylinders. My recommendation to you guys is if you're building one of these engines or building one of these cars or whatever, put a full steam tube setup on it, because what will happen is it actually holds steam in the back of the head and starts making number 7 and number 8 cylinder kind of run a little goofy and lean. And it doesn't happen all the time, but it can happen. And that's why I like running a steam tube through all 4 areas of the LS heads here. So if you have an LS motor, use all 4 ports to get all that hot steam out of the head. The hotter that head gets, the weirder things are going to get and more trouble you're going to run into with lean conditions, spark knock issues in the back 7 and 8 cylinders and stuff of that nature. So like I was saying, obviously, since we're going to talk about what Mitch is doing here. I don't know what Mitch is doing with the press, but I hope he's not going to stick my head in it. So we have a battery box, and considering the fact that this F-body had the battery located originally right there, we obviously can't do that anymore because we have a big giant intake tube coming out of there, which is going to come out and go to the intake with the blow-up valves and everything. So we have to relocate everything, and what we're doing is we're relocating it to the back of the car here in this little cubby hole. This is where the spare tire used to be, and I have Mitch making a plate. He's actually bending it up. I bought this plate at the salvage yard, very cheap, couple doll hairs, and we're modifying it, and we're going to bolt it into here, and then our battery box basically is going to go right there, and it has the strap, so it's all legal stuff, and we have the cable ran and everything. We're running ground cable and all, but that's what Mitchell's doing.
Yay.
Yay! Are you excited, Mitch?
Oh yeah.
Are you excited for the 23rd of June down in North Carolina to go racing? I mean, you're not going to be
I'm
racing,
more
but...
excited for the 22nd.
What's wrong with the 22nd?
It's my birthday.
Oh my God, it's his birthday!
Duh.
Holy smokes. I'm going to give everybody Mitchell's personal cell phone number so everybody can wish Mitch a happy birthday by text message and phone calls.
I'm sure you're gonna.
Alright guys, so we got our push rods in. There they are. Now, just so you guys know, these are Trick Flow 3/8 push rods is what they are. So they're a little bit thicker than the stock 5/16 push rods, a little bit stronger. The one thing you have to know about this is when we're measuring push rod and preload on the lifters in this engine, we discovered that the exhaust push rods are actually 50 thousandths shorter than the intake push rods once we got our measurements all set in stone. So I had to actually order 8 long push rods and 8 short push rods for the exhaust and the intake. So we're going to go ahead and put the rockers on now. Alright guys, we've got our rockers on here. Mitch is going to go ahead and center them up, tighten them down, and we should be good to go. Then we can put our valve covers on, our coil packs, actually, we're going to prime this thing is what we're going to do first. We're actually going to prime the engine without the intake on, which is safe. Now that the rockers on and the push rods are in, we can actually hook battery power up to it real quick. We're going to run the battery cables, hook battery power up to it, and we're going to go ahead and crank her over so we can get oil pressure into the whole engine, and then we'll put the spark plugs in. It's a lot easier to crank these motors over without the spark plugs in them. So yeah, we'll get all these tightened down, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right guys, we have the intake on. Mitch is currently looking for a washer. I don't know what he's using to look for a washer, but he's looking for a washer, So we got the intake on. We have one valve cover on. We painted them nice black. Look at that. That is so sexy. We're going to be putting the other valve cover on here very shortly once the intake is torqued down, and then on to the next step. All right, guys, we're going to end this portion of the transgender AM build. We have Mitch over here changing out the starter because we're running into a clearance issue. It seems like the starter does not. We actually got primed oil pressure in the car, so it's ready to fire. We got a few more little things to do to it, and we're probably going to be firing this thing up tomorrow, which will be Friday. Today's Thursday, so this video will be going up Friday. So you'll probably be seeing startup maybe Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So you guys are gonna have to wait for that, unfortunately. Maybe I'll put a little teaser of the startup on Snapchat or Instagram. If you don't follow me on Snapchat, it's Diablo Formula. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it is Diablo Formula Racing. And also Facebook is Diablo Formula Racing. But Mitch is, like I said, he's changing out the starter real quick. We're going to put an F-body starter in. There's actually a truck starter, and we are running into a clearance issue. It's making a whole bunch of weird noises and stuff. So it's not, like I was saying, like, you know what, I'll just show you. It's just so much better to show you. But the tooth is shooting out, and it's turning the flywheel, but it's not going back in. So luckily we have another starter here, and we're going to put that in, see if that fixes the problem. Hopefully it does. What do you think, Mitch?
I hope.
I hope too. I'm sure it will. But guys, so I know I did a little Q&A on my Instagram post, so I'm going to answer those questions now. And if you guys don't want to watch that portion of the video, go ahead and shut it off right now, because it's just going to be a Q&A part for the next how many minutes, I don't even know. So other than that, guys, if you enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Deuces. All right, guys, like I said, doing a Q&A off of Instagram. And let's go into my Instagram here. We got over 100 comments. I'm not going to read them all because that would take forever. So let's go to the newest first. So the first one is Slow Marrow 43. What is the best way to get 550 wheel horsepower out of an LS3 without going FI? FI is forced induction, supercharger, turbocharger, etc. 550 heads cam, real good heads cam package. We'll do that for you. Heads cam intake, so that would definitely do it. GT Jude 01, are you going after some revenge with Street Speed 717? No, I'm not. But I will race as McLaren again. I'm gonna beat him. I mean, it's just that simple. So Austin 7777 7777 77777. There's a whole bunch of fucking sevens. Damn, Mitch is fast. Yes, Mitch is extremely fast. I'm extremely happy to have him back in the shop working. James _Morton _001. Will the white rocket run again soon? Which means the white formula that's in the shop. Yes, it will. I'm getting the red one done. Now that the Duramax is running, you know, that's back on the road. The red car is going to be running. That's going to be back on the road. The white car, the white Trans Am, the Formula, will also be on the road here afterwards. So we'll be working on that project at a later date, but we're getting the red one done right now. BMR _Fox. You ever think to just throw the whole drivetrain in a Fox body and really hurt feelings? Yes, because a notchback would be like 2,800 pounds, and it would really do some damage. So yeah, it would be cool to do that. Just not right now. I'm using the Bird for right now. David Wecker. 2017. Would you ever get a Duramax crate motor from @II Diesel and a built Allison 6-speed for your Duramax? Well, my 5-speed, it's no 1LB7. My 5-speed transmission is already built. It's built very, very good by myself. The crate motor, it'd be cool to have a crate motor put in this thing, but honestly, this engine is running good for right now. Maybe if this engine fails, maybe I'll contact them for a crate engine. Big B Ray's dad, how far behind are you at the shop? What's expected turnaround time? We're pretty backed up at the shop right now. My suggestion would be to email me at diabloformula@hotmail.com, and we can talk about what project you're looking to do or what mod you're looking to do, and we can give you more of a basis timeline on that. Usually simple mods we can get in and out, you know, within a couple of days. Bigger projects will take a little bit more time, obviously. Branham, can you make my Prius look like that under the hood? And he's referring to my Instagram picture of the turbo setup underneath the Trans Am, and no, I cannot. Doug Fresh 005, Diablo Formula Racing, which would you prefer, AK-47 or AR-15 for plinking? AR-15, the ammo's cheaper. SS Slowball, would you ever build a drift car? If so, what car would you choose? Probably like a Nissan 240 SX. They're pretty good drift cars. I'm trying to think. A Miata would be cool, like a Miata with a LS1 in it. That'd be a cool drift car. That would be my two top choices probably for drift cars. New bike, who dis? What is the cheapest mods you can do to a 2013 Camaro SS to make the bald eagles, make big bald eagles? Bolt-ons, man. That's the first mod you want to do to any car when you're starting out from scratch is, you know, headers, exhaust, coder intake, maybe an intake manifold, you know, and then after that's done, and obviously a custom tune as well. But once all those modifications are done, then you could move up to a heads cam package or a heads cam intake, whatever you want to do. They call me Dustin. There's a two pieces of this question. I don't understand the second part, so I'm just going to read the first part. What made you choose the single turbo kit over the twins? When I was discussing my plans with Huron Speed, you know, I told them what I was looking to do, what power level I was looking to be at. They suggested I go with a single setup to get where I want to be. So that's why I went with a single setup over anything else. Will.410, favorite car of all time, DMC DeLorean, 1982, 1984 DeLoreans. They're my favorite cars. I don't care what anybody says. I love them. They're badass. Back to the Future, bam, bam, bam. You know what I'm saying? Randall Pendley 11. How long have you been working on cars? I've been working on cars for almost 20 years now. So I've got I started out working on cars back in vehicles in general. I've started working on vehicles back in 99 in the Marine Corps, and I've been a mechanic ever since, basically, for myself and for other shops that I've worked for, in transmission shops and custom fabrication shops and stuff like that. So I would say, yeah, I mean, probably like 20 years now. Yeah, almost 20 years I've been a mechanic. So I've been doing it a long time, guys. I've been doing it a long time. I've seen a lot of dumb shit. I've seen a lot of cool shit. Lance VWS6, rest in peace 10 bolt. Well, a lot of you guys are saying about the 10 bolt being in the car. I am keeping the 10 bolt. I am keeping the 10 bolt in the car for now until I get my break-in miles on the engine. Once the break-in miles are on the engine, my 9-inch will be going in with new gearing, and then we're gonna let it rip. Ray_R_R. What type of cam? What type of size cam do you recommend for a 5.3 motor to get a nice chop? Any cam will be fine. I would say do a you know, if you want some chop, do an LSA of like 112 or 111. That would get you a lot of chop. Underpaid farmer, would you do a twin turbo build on a 15 Silverado? Yes, I mean, twin turbo build on anything's going to be pretty freaking wild, so I would do it. I mean, it'd be pretty cool. I think that's about it for this time, guys. I don't want to make this video too long, but like always, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Other than that, I did all my outro before, so if you're watching this, you've already seen my outro, so I'm just going to leave it with a deuces, guys.